Okay.
I saw this guy today. He's Australian, and he's having a bit of fun with a new policy I guess they have at their banks there, where if you ask to make a withdrawal, hey, give me my money, they want to know what you're going to do with it. Yeah, and so he shows up and he's like, yeah, I'd like to make a withdrawal, $5,000. And okay, what are you
Kyle,
going to
do the voice while you're doing it, please?
I really can't. I don't feel like.
Can you give me like just a little effort there? Just try. If you can, just the old college try.
I think that's South African. But
hello there. I'd like to make a withdrawal.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
A few dollary dues there behind the counter there, ma'am.
There we go. That's a little effort.
Yes. You're better than you think, Kyle.
And she said, "What you going to do with the money there?" And he says, "Why you got to ask?" And she said, "Ask new policy, yeah." And he says, "Well, it's actually, since you asked, it's for my ass. It's anal bleaching. They say I can get." See, I've completely lost it now.
You're doing great. We're proud of you.
They can get three shades of anal bleaching, for $4,000. That seemed like a good deal.
Hell of a deal.
So just every single person, he goes to multiple banks. I guess somehow he must have deposited money for his video. I don't know, but he gets multiple tellers, and it's just one embarrassing thing after another that he's doing with the money. He's hiring a hitman. He's paying off his wife, just whatever it takes. But I thought that was a really sort of, I don't like the way that feels, that they need to know what I'm doing with my fucking money. It's like, well, I was letting you collect interest on it and shit, but not anymore. I'm taking my money because I don't like your policy. I've got a mattress somewhere or whatever you do with your money, since the banks don't work. But yeah, they want to know what you're doing with your money. None of your fucking business.
Bizarre.
Is there a minimum to do that for them to ask that question? Because I know there's certain amounts where
think so.
Check if they have your loved ones at home at gunpoint and you're trying to take out a bunch of money. Sometimes they'll ask depending on the amount.
No,
but
I don't. Nah, like come on. It seemed he wasn't asking for huge amounts of money. Mostly, it was. I think he asked for 100 at one point, and it was, "What are you doing with it? What are you gonna do with it?" It's
like $100, £100, whatever.
Or
that's crazy.
Australian dollar reduce. Yeah.
Donating it to the Taliban. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that illegal? Like, and it's like, yeah, it's illegal. You're going to jail.
Yeah, that's insane. I'd never go for that.
So I looked it up again. A few seconds of research. It looks like if you take out more than 10,000, the banks are required to tell the government why they made the withdrawal.
Well,
banks have taken it upon themselves. Oh, I'm with you. Banks have taken upon themselves to lower that amount to 2,000, where they ask you what you're doing with the money. And you don't have to prove it. You can obviously lie or whatever. And
keep in mind, those are dollary dues, not as strong as the American dollar. So you might 2,000 is like nothing.
I
$87.
That. It's not that big a deal because you can just lie. But also, it's another pet peeve of mine, and it's called the illusion of security, right? In the same way, if I say, "Hey, Kyle, is there a bomb on your luggage?" That doesn't prevent any terrorist attacks. Yeah. It does zero. It's pretend security. It's security theater.
I guess you could charge me later for lying to a TSA official. That's all I see. It's like you lied on a form so they can get you for that later.
Yeah, pretty much.
I see that. Yeah.
It's like, well, you said your money was for anal bleaching, but we followed you. Turned out you just bought lunch.
You don't need to take a look at that.
It was for anal bleaching. Turnaround.
Like what?
It's a pretty brown asshole for someone who just spent $10,000 bleaching it.
You were just making silly TikToks at our expense.
Now, you treating me, an Australian police officer, like a fool? You think I don't know? You think I can't see a bleached ass versus a not bleached ass from 1 inch away? No? You think I can't taste the difference?
You tell me, Steve guy.
Oh my Lord.
I imagine Australian police are kind of like ruder British police, but still
I think
no
of them
guns.
as more hippie British police. The British police, I imagine, is just real pieces of
maybe
shit.
not ruder, like more ball busting, like
pieces
more
of shit.
Like that.
They've got to have the biggest inferiority complex ever. Every time I see the British police on TV anywhere, they're getting just bullied, slapped around, like just made a fool of, made a mockery of. People will like run up and slap them in the back of the head and like whoop, 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 like just run away from them.
And run away.
Boy, brother, you wouldn't have tried that 500 years ago.
A
It's
fat
like, yeah, you're
British
right.
policeman has no recourse. He has none. Because all he's got is a fucking whistle and a radio. You can run up, slap the shit out of him, run away. What's he gonna do? Blow his rape whistle?
Did you see the kid who was like running from the cop and he climbed up the roof of the building and he's hiding on the roof and everyone's like being quiet around the cop, not telling him and stuff?
Just fully
Yeah, I've seen
jacked up.
that.
Counterpoint,
I like
Kyle. I run at the same speed as a fat British cop. So that would be bad.
I don't even know
feel
if
like
British cops are legally allowed to run.
That's
I think they have
Not
to
in
like
London.
briskly walk at perps and
Not in London. It's considered disrespectful.
It is, yeah. I mean, I
you
wouldn't
only
wanna
have
be a
to go
British
back
cop.
like 6 years, and I've broken both legs in that span of time.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at running.
Kyle, you were talking our ear off, so excited to share with us some wrestling lore about Hulk Hogan and potentially murder. Is he a murderer? Can you clear the air?
I have some thoughts. Yeah, I watched his JRE appearance. It's brand new, I guess, today. And I don't
For
watch
the
that
listener,
much.
that's a podcast called The Joe Rogan Experience.
Shut up, Woody.
Yes. For those who don't know, a podcast is so Hulk Hogan, amazing guest. I loved it. It was so good. And he was talking about the old days of wrestling. So originally, everyone knows of Vince McMahon, I'm sure. Well, his father is Vince McMahon Sr. So in Vince McMahon Sr.'s day, wrestling was there were these territories. And it was it was like areas around the country because you had local TV, not cable, like covering a whole country. So you owned your territory. It was almost like mafia rules, like you don't go into our territory. If you do, you're coming here because we invited you, and your guys will lose to our champion, and then and that's how we'll do business. And so when it came time to hand the business down, actually sell it to his son Vince McMahon Jr., he's like, "Look, business is yours. Run it how you want, son, but don't ever mess with the territories. Promise me you won't mess with the territories." It's like, "I promise you, Pop."
Fingers crossed.
Immediately he goes to Hogan. "We're going after the territories. You coming with me?" He's like, yeah. So they go into this one territory, and the way they do it, obviously, is they buy ad time in fucking Omaha or whatever and start pumping fucking Hulk Hogan's coming to town August 6th. The baddest motherfucker in the world, the champion of this place and that place, and he holds this belt and that belt. He's 6 foot this, 200 and whatever, 24-inch biceps, brother. He's coming. He's coming for the champ. Whatever. And the problem is the champ in this region has been champ for like 18 fucking years. He's this hard as nails motherfucker who doesn't put people over. He doesn't lose to you. You lose to him. That's how it works. And he puts word out. You tell Hogan, "I'm going to kill him when I see him." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we'll let him know." You let Hogan know, "I'm going to use this. I'm going to shoot him in the face." And they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll let him know." And so Hogan flies into town or whatever, and they call him. And it wasn't about the threat. It was, "Hey, the champ came down to the ring today with a gun, and he tried to burn the ring down. And the cops came, and they kicked him out, but they didn't arrest him. So he says he's going to kill you when he sees you." And Hogan's like, "So I'm fucking terrified because I know who this man is. He's a scary man. He means what he says." So, I roll in late. The intermission's already begun. I'm at a bar down the street. I've had a couple bottles of wine and, just kill the time. And it's time for me to go in. So I go in, man, my stomach's just upset from all that wine. I got to take a dump, brother. And so I head into the bathroom, and I got my yellow spandex around my ankles in there, and I'm letting her rip. And I hear the British Bulldog, who's another pro wrestler, yell, "He's coming for you, Hogan. He's in here." He said, so I jump up and I jerk my shorts up. Don't even wipe my ass. He's like, "I can't be caught with my pants literally down." And I burst out into the room ready to fight. And he's got that gun right in my face. And he says,
Damn.
"I should kill you for coming here. I should kill you right here for coming here and trying to do this to me." but I need a job. And he's like, and that's how we signed him, and we took the territory. And that sounded rough.
Hitting someone with the side of a tennis racket is very funny as like a brutal way to hit someone. But like, I was just thinking, like, if someone came up to me and was like, what, like rapping me on the head with the side of a tennis racket, I would like go in, and if they were faster than me, I would be like full on panicking and like, stop, fuck, man. It's like, it's just like, you'd be bleeding because the edge of those is a little sharp and it's fiberglass. Wop. That wouldn't be fun.
I see like
on his face.
There's a movie trope where the dad bod 35-year-old unathletic guy always grabs a golf club to defend his family.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible is my viewpoint too. Isn't the shaft of it kind of weak? And it
Super,
like if I
weak.
hit Kyle on the deltoid with the shaft, doesn't it just break and Kyle's not even injured?
It'll probably
just
bend.
twist.
Ben, do you
some
think?
clubs are aluminum and
sorry.
some clubs are carbon fiber, right? It might not be aluminum, it might be stainless steel or something. The metal clubs, like my experience, by the way, is just buying clubs in fucking pawn shops and hitting balls in a field. So I'm no golfer, but the ones we bought were either metallic and you could snap those on your knee, or they were carbon fiber. And it was tough carbon fiber, the kind of like fishing rod, tougher than a fishing rod, like the best ones at the base. Like it felt real tough. But down at the bottom, I don't know. I never broke one. It felt like you could snap one, like you're describing, Woody.
So you wouldn't beat someone with a driver, like one of those like carbon fiber can snap driver. Like you wanted to fuck someone up with like a 9-iron. Yeah, you can fuck someone up with a 9-iron.
It's a good weapon. You think? You give it the thumbs up.
Like if it's a low tier list weapon, but if it's there,
it's
and that's what I need.
Stick.
If someone takes a tennis racket and I have a 9-iron, I'm winning that fight.
9-iron beats tennis racket.
All right, Taylor, I have a question for you.
You got more reach too, right?
Yes.
There's a burglar coming in. He has a knife. You have at your disposal a 9-iron and a guitar, an electric guitar. What are you grabbing?
Oh,
I don't think I can. I don't get. I mean, I'm not a baseball player. I don't think I can get the kind of
reason, Taylor.
I don't think I could get the kind of bat speed I would need from the guitar.
You're a strong guy.
Like, I could hit someone so hard with a fucking 9-iron.
Okay.
Like, that's what I would
roll
do,
back,
for
because
sure.
at first I imagined a cluttered hallway, close range already. That's guitar territory. But if I can like stand off like Jean-Claude Van Damme, do my kata, like fucking adjust my robe, and then like kind of karate kick the ottoman out of the way just to show off a little. Kind of
I love the scene.
I just
you realize you're not athletic enough for flips, so you're doing like somersaults.
I like the idea
rolls and
that
stuff.
the
You see that? He
moves
did a bad
unimpressive
handstand.
9 inches, and he's like, "Well, just fuck."
Where'd he go? Oh, he's right there. He's very slow, actually.
I think
stand up and do that.
Yeah,
I think in open territory like that, I would still take the 9-iron, because, but it comes with a problem, and it's the one Woody pointed out. If you don't hit them with the head of the club, I think you could break the club or warp the club in such a way that it's no longer really swingable without sort of being this silly thing that doesn't quite work anymore. You lose a lot of it doesn't work anymore. So I'd take the 9-iron in that situation, but you'd have to be careful with it, because if you don't hit them with the head, it'll break on them on like a shoulder. I think it'd bend around their shoulder. If you were a dummy like they do in the movies and you just hit them across the midsection with the middle of your 9-iron, it just ruins your 9-iron.
You gotta hit them with the head of the club.
Yeah,
the big old
in the head.
Part. Yeah, that'll kill them. Like you hit someone hard with the club.
I'm
part
trying
of
to
an iron,
fucking put a divot in their face if I'm swinging a 9-iron at them.
I'll throw it at Wolf. Your weapon is a pull cue, and you're gonna swing it at someone. You know,
I don't have to.
I said the word right.
It has 2 attacks.
A pull
the
stick.
pull cue.
Do I use
the pull cue.
wrong?
You're right.
Either work.
Okay.
The heavy end, sure.
You would hold the heavy end or the light end?
No. You'd hold the light end.
Okay.
You hit somebody with a light end, it's not going to. That it would hurt less than a broomstick.
I think I've put more thought into this. Just to interject, pull cue. You got to think of it like a weapon in a video game. It has 3 attack modes. Okay. You can swing it. You can stab with it, which I think would be incredibly effective. If you poke somebody in the eye with it, you could outright kill them. You could also take that 2-piece pull cue apart.
See, that's
and now you have a really effective club. and
You
you
have
throw
two
the other
Kempo
piece of shit
sticks.
away.
Yeah. Well,
You
how
throw the other
patient
piece of
is the
shit away
guy
and
who's
take
trying to fuck you up that you're having time to?
He's
unscrew
very.
pieces
We're
and-
preparing for battle, Taylor. I mean, he's
I would-
patient enough. I'll tell you. I have an answer for you, Taylor. He was
Okay.
so patient. He agreed to meet me in my billiard room. Okay. For this fucking scenario that we're discussing.
He's
Okay.
over there juggling, trying to pick which ball will be his
However,
weapon.
let me say, I would take both my socks off if I had those, double them up, through a pool ball in there, and then I feel like that's an even better weapon than the stick.
How about
see,
this, Kyle?
is
You have
the
a-
prison talk coming out. You know
No.
what I would do? I'd take
Just
3
pummel 'em.
locks, put them in a sock.
As
Dude, how
someone
about
who
this?
trained with some martial arts back in the day, and like the quarterstaff was one of my good weapons when I did martial arts. And whenever whenever I took girls on pool dates, I do the twirly thing as I'm walking around the table to look really cool and stuff like that.
Yeah, really cool.
Oh, yeah,
Twirl it behind my back and stuff.
Do
I'd
you
look
wear
really
the cowboy
cool.
hat when you go out like
Uh-huh.
that?
Do you whistle the Harlem Globetrotters music on your
I always I do cartwheels when I play pool to look cool.
No, I twirl it around. I've got the trick where goes around my hand and all that stuff. But the best thing, I mean, if you could unscrew it fast enough, using 2 of them like Kempo sticks. You know the art that you've seen them do with the 2 sticks.
Yeah,
That's probably the most effective thing you could do with it, because you have the light one and you have the heavy one, which is even more effective because it's
Snap 'em
shorter.
in the- Can I snap them with that like real quick, and then while they're
Exactly.
blinded a little bit, club them over the fucking head?
It's
You try.
literally like your fist, like a jab and a round.
I like the idea in Kyle's lengthy pool room like preparation. He's taking the chalk and making it loose so he can throw it in his eyes.
Oh yes, dude! I've got a whole. And then they're blinded. And I do Bruce Lee
Little
move.
pocket sand
If
action.
I ever fight somebody
like a
in
ninja.
dark room, if I'm using Kempo sticks and pool cue and pool chalk to
And
fight
pocket
someone,
sand.
there's not a chance in the world I don't do some Bruce Lee noises like as I snap around the room just to really throw him off. And look, you cannot say if you were a home invader, just imagine.
Yes, I'm invading
and
your home.
You did not expect people to be there, but now you're being stalked by a guy who's making Bruce Lee noises, and he clearly is armed with Kempo sticks.
in his
That
underwear.
would be terrifying.
Yeah,
Naked,
It would be
naked.
scary.
I immediately strip down and like butter myself. I all over. I get greasy upstairs. I'm not even joking. I'll go get it if I have to for proof. I have a gallon of silicone lube with I could be smothered.
No,
in that
you don't
shit
get to
in
like
30
fucking Kevin
fucking seconds.
McAllister the prep of this.
Oh,
with
zero
lube and-
preparation? Where'd the
and,
club
like,
come
hot
from? Where'd the
doorknobs.
golf club come from? Because I don't own one of those. You don't allow my scenarios. What is it? Code names? You're the fucking rule master? No,
Fair enough.
no. I'm lubed up. I'm getting greasy. You know what? I tell her, I'm like, remember the movie where the guy's in prison and he's
Yeah.
kidnapped like a fucking other prisoner, or maybe like
Yeah.
a cop or something, prison cop.
Tom Hardy.
And Tom Hardy's naked, and what does he say? Grease me?
Quick guys. He's trying to get him to
Butter,
grease him up.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't it
butter him
butter?
up. So- yeah.
He's
something like
he's forcing his hostage to rub his body down and smother it down with butter because he's about to fight an entire SWAT team, like a riot team, I should say. Like men
Yeah.
with billy clubs and shields are coming, and he wants to be greasy.
I want to talk more about weapons we could fight people with in the home. So
Okay.
if you were, you made me think about the pool cue thing. You and
Yeah.
Wolf were saying that you would go 2 hands. Kimbo,
I would not.
or
I would
Kimbo
not. I was
style.
just being silly. What I would actually do, because and I try to be practical when I imagine my silly scenarios, whether it's funny or not, because if I were actually going to try to fight somebody, I think that I would be good enough at swinging one heavy thing with my other hand free. So my other hand can do things like grapple, punch, claw, scratch, throw pocket sand, or maybe just grab on and double hand this club I'm about to swing with. So I'd want to get the pool cue in half. If you don't give me enough time to unscrew it, which is 8 seconds tops, I'll snap it over my knee, which I'm fully capable of, at which point now I've got a jagged pointy end rather than
that
that
is
long.
scarier. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But if
I
you're
would want
like,
that.
if I burst into your pool room and
Mhm.
you are standing on the opposite side of your pool table with a pool cue,
Yeah.
and you're like ready to have that kind of battle, I feel like I could really do some damage to you, just like reaching in a couple pockets and then
Throwing
firing
ball.
pool balls at you.
Yeah.
Because think about that. Like, you're ready to have a real fight like that, and now you're getting pool balls fucking
I agree.
fired at you from
be
6
terrifying.
feet away.
Yeah.
I think I might rather have just the pool balls than the pool cue, because
The
you're going to break that
scariest-
shit immediately.
I mean, unless you throw like a girl, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
One of the-
and even if
one
you
of the-
throw like a girl at 6 feet away, you're going to fuck somebody up with. I wouldn't want a girl to throw a fucking cue ball at my head from
I don't
6
want
feet
anybody
away.
throwing. One of the scariest things that ever happened to me was we were doing this big like sleepover at a guy's house. We like played paintball in the woods. There's like 8 of us, and then we were going to spend the night there. We did spend the night there, and his older brother showed up, who's like even more hardcore and badass than the guy we came to hang out with. And the guy we came to hang out with was the most hardcore badass guy we know. I mean, he had a paintball field in his backyard, you know.
Learned it from his brother.
And this guy's game was to play like tag with darts, like real like darts that you throw, like the real sharp ones. But there's no way to play that game except for single player, and we were just targets. And that was so scary. I was fine with fighting or like wrestling or like being rough housing or whatever. But when he started hurling darts at people, like a few of us ended up in a back bedroom in the basement, like with the door, like holding the door back against them. It became a silly game. But then, like the way the room worked, it was a finished basement, but the ceilings weren't completely connected with the drywall at the top, such that he could sort of get up in and like throw darts into the room from the corners, and so a dart would just hit the fucking floor next to it, and we're all. It was scary. Every time I went,
that's actually really scary.
Dude, every time I went to a guy's house, and again, like it was Chad, John Scott, and Jacob. Cool dudes, hardcore dudes, the kind of dudes that do backflips off of the fucking swing in 3rd grade, like that guy. They're
a great description.
In every case, they're fucking older. They had an older brother, and that's the reason they were that kind of badass so young. And their older brother was always a wild man. Like he drove a Camaro or something. He drove a sports car or a motorcycle. He did silly. He had a dirt bike. Like he also did backflips, but he did 2 backflips just off the 2nd floor of their house. Then landed on a trampoline and just rode it out, stiff legging, like mean mugging you. That kid dangled me over a fucking balcony for the fuck of it. Just put a scare into me.
Like you were Michael Jackson's kid.
What happened to him now?
I don't remember, but I remember hearing a story. Here's how they scared us about him. They told us that he had like, and of course it's bullshit, that he had hit a kid in the nose and driven that kid's nose into his brain and killed him. That was, but when you
that
hear
was
that,
such a common rumor.
Of course,
Yeah, I
but
think every town's had that rumor.
when you're like 10 or 12, you believe that shit.
Absolutely.
You're like, his name was Don. That was his fucking name. I remember now. Yeah, Don was fucking
Donnie
hardcore.
Darts, we called him.
He dangled me off a balcony like a child. And I had to be like 140 pounds back then. You know, I wasn't a tiny 12-year-old. Yeah. And then
you do sound
Jacob,
like a child in this story, though.
well, I mean, I was dangled. I was a child to him for sure. Yeah. I mean, he was a man grown.
I remember one of those guys in my neighborhood, and he was, the big guy who used to do all the crazy things and used to ride on a dirt bike and stuff whether he wasn't supposed to do. He ended up paralyzing himself jumping off the local quarry cliff when he was trying to climb on it, and he paralyzed himself.
It's funny you say that. My guy, not the brother, but the wild man that was my age, killed himself. He got a Super Sport Camaro, and he'd only had it for a little while. It was a 1998 Super Sport Camaro. I think it's the last year they made them. And it had these bubble headlights. It was the only year that I remember that didn't have the sort of slit headlights on the side. They had these bubbles, and I loved that one. And it was black, and they said he was going in excess of 120 miles per hour, and that he was not wearing a seatbelt, and he hit a tree. And so
Ryan Dunn.
It was a closed casket funeral. It was very sad. Right before prom. And then the prom date made it about her. Now I don't have a date, so then we all shit on her.
Yeah, she was going through such an easy time.
It's like, oh, you don't have a date anymore? Because we all lost our friend.
Wow.
That was my
High school.
She didn't know that dude. He was just
We ruined the funeral. Whole family was upset.
I just think you get a tougher dude when you've got brothers. I didn't have any brothers. I didn't have anybody to compete with that was my age or anything like that. I'm definitely softer because of it. Taylor grew up with younger brothers, so he got to be like, he's always been a bully his whole life. He's just been this piece of shit, just looking down his nose at two younglings who weren't only physically inferior, but they were younger. They hadn't caught on. He'd had multiple years of training, and
multiple years of training is what I call it. I trained the most
being
like,
a human.
And
being a human. Those early years are important. An 8-year-old dominates a 6-year-old in the realm of being a human.
That's
using
true.
your philosophy, Kyle.
That
who's
kid knows how the
tougher?
car
The little
works.
brothers who are the victims, or the older brother who's the bully? Like, which one grows up?
Everybody's tougher for it because the younger brother has to fight a heavyweight his whole life. And eventually, I bet in Taylor's case, he's probably had to fight a tag team every now and then.
Every once in a while. Yeah, you got to fight them both back. But it
not only steel. What is it? Steel sharpens steel. I bet there's all sorts of mind games. If a lamp gets broken, Woody, if there's three of us, like the three of us are brothers, not Taylor, and Wolf breaks the lamp. What if me and Wolf agree that you broke the lamp?
Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, there is, Woody. Of course there is. Just make our beds for 2 weeks. That's all. And then Wolf still broke the lamp.
There is no fucking way I would make your bed.
Okay. I understand that. I understand that you won't make our beds. And
I might lose, but you won't get shit from me. Like that was that's how young Woody would have handled it.
I understand your position, Woody, but let me make a counter offer.
Realistically,
you won't make our beds for 2 weeks, but perhaps you'll make our beds for 1 week, and in addition, we'll break another fucking lamp and say you broke that one too.
Wolf, I have an idea.
You know what? And you smash a lamp on the floor right there.
Which one of you broke the lamp?
Look how clumsy Woody was today, Wolf.
I'm going to partner up with the innocent one, break a fucking lamp, and pin them both on you.
Wolf is the innocent one.
That's not going to work.
I'm the conniver.
Our word
You're the conniver. So you guys, you need to have dirt.
I'm mad
on
about
your
the last lamp.
Like, you need to be like the way you avoid stuff like this is. I remember like I got my youngest brother to like do stuff for me for so long, and my younger brother and I got my youngest brother to like, and it was like little things like, hey, get me a soda from upstairs, or go get this snack from upstairs or something. And he basically, the story with my youngest brother, in like 6th grade or whatever, my parents decided like, yeah, we're done with this school you're in. We're pulling you out of this school for the remainder of the year, and you're switching to a new school next year. And my mom was like, for the remainder of this year, I'll just homeschool you. My mom had no fucking experience doing that or anything. And like, she basically told him like, here, like, take this book, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and read this. And like, my youngest brother would just go in his room, which was a playhouse with Legos and everything, and like just play Legos all day. And he made the mistake of telling me and my other brother, he was like, hey, Taylor, I haven't read any of the stuff. This is months into his homeschooling, and he's done nothing. He hasn't even opened The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and he makes the mistake of telling me this. Yep. And so then I'm like, that's great. Go grab me a Diet Coke from upstairs. And so like after like maybe a month or two of that, like me and my younger brother are just all the time like just another soda, a round of sodas for me and my friend.
All he had to do was read the book.
All he had to do was read the book. And so like it got to the point where he was like, I'm sick of you guys telling me to go get you sodas and snacks. And we would just have to be like, Tom Sawyer. And then like in a way that like my mom could hear upstairs, and he'd be like, shut up. Shut up. And we're like, really? We'll go get our own sodas, but I'm going to tell mom on the way upstairs about the Tom Sawyer thing. And he's like, fine, what kind of sodas do you want?
That's brilliant. See, that's brilliant.
It was great. See, we did a little politicking, that's a little bit of model UN in the home. He learned if you're going to cheat at school, don't spread it around.
See, I didn't have that
people you
practice.
think you can trust.
I didn't get to practice that kind of manipulation and bargaining and stuff and conniving and sneakiness.
And it was all just to have him bring sodas to me. Like that's all we did. Sodas.
To be honest, I don't think my brother would have done that to me. Like my brother and I had a lot of conflict growing up and stuff, and I've lost many, many fucking fights and grappling matches. But when it comes to like ratting me out to my parents, I think he was a loyal sibling in that regard.
You had that unified front.
We wouldn't have told. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were bluffing, like because
It
we
was just
didn't
a
care.
threat.
Yeah,
He wouldn't
we
have
didn't-
blackmailed me. He never blackmailed me my whole life. Like,
Oh, we did for sodas. Yeah,
some
all those
doo-doo
World War
involved
II
at
countries that
some
got
point.
bombed, love it.
Yeah, yeah. Just all those guys wanted like someone to shit in their mouths for the next 30 years. They just got real dirty after that.
See, I
All
don't
day
think the
long.
Italians got bombed to shit.
I think
as the
that
Axis powers, and so
they got
and that lines up
Mussolini
with
out
the-
of there real quick.
No,
You know,
I'm
they
saying
were
that
rough
lines up
on
with
him.
the
You ever
theory,
see
though,
his
'cause
body?
Germany bombed the shit. They all like the bondage. Japan bombed. They like tentacles and things.
Yeah.
If we would have bombed the shit out of Italy, we'd have a bunch of weird Italians too.
what if your country was always a shithole? Like, I feel like there's certain parts of Africa and South America that maybe dig bondage.
You just need to bomb. If it's always
I don't
been
think they were
shitty
always-
in like
No.
Honduras, and so they're just
No.
into it.
Countries like that are usually more conservative.
More religious, definitely. Yeah. So-
Countries like
Yeah.
that. are
The harder
more-
things are, the more religious a group will get.
Yeah,
That-
I feel like you go to like
every
a
single time.
Muslim country in Africa or the Middle East, you bring that stuff up, they're going to be like, no, we're not cool with that, and we
Yeah.
actually have a special place for you. Like,
I
Yep.
can't hear what you're saying with that ball gag in.
We burn people like you in the burning hole. We dug a big hole and we put fuel at the bottom of the hole, and we
that is so
ignite.
interesting. Get in the crocodile pit.
This is my cousin
Oh, you
Taylor.
guys would think it was cool. It's like, no, go back
it's
to
the
Germany. You
crocodile
weird
pit. Burn them. Burn them. Everyone afraid of burning, not crocodile.
Yeah,
I would rather
certain countries are
be
afraid to
killed
get
by a
kinky.
crocodile. Tell me
They
the
are.
tell me that you run into two fucking like brothers in the Congo, two rival warlords. First one caught you, but then the other shows up, and he's even scared in the second one. He's Taylor, and he's got like a pet hyena, like on a leash. That's
Okay.
like fucking. It's huge. It looks like a 200-pound hyena, and I captured you, and I want to put you in my burning pits, which is what I do with my whites. And Taylor, on the other hand, Black Taylor, he wants to feed you to his crocodiles, his crocodilians. I would rather be taken by Taylor and thrown to the crocodilians because
Burning is not a way to go.
crocodiles have one job, and it's to kill things. And they don't always do it the quickest, I know.
Yeah,
but they're
sometimes very
if-
slow.
If you could get your head in their mouth, I feel like they'll do their best to wrench it off, tear your jugular somehow, maybe just outright break your neck, and hopefully they take you down in the water and just drown you. Okay, I know that sounds rough, but you haven't seen my burn pits. You just haven't seen them. There's a metal grate about 8
Kyle,
feet
I have
above
a
the
crucial
flames.
question
Oh.
on this.
Yeah,
With your
you
burn
just
pit,
dance down there, and then you
Now-
roast.
Do you know Game of
Your lungs
Thrones? They
roast.
burned that King Baratheon's daughter. I can't remember.
Daughter,
her name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, they started that fire with her on the spike,
they
which
did.
is a bad way to die. However, I might choose your burn pits over his crocodile pits
Mhm.
if the fire's raging.
It's
if
not.
this thing is a 25-foot tall bonfire,
No.
that might be the quicker death.
I
What about
promise
when
you.
they killed what's his name's daughter on Son of Anarchy?
I
Remember?
don't know it that
When they
well.
threw her in the pit.
Like a burn
Sons of
pit?
Anarchy. The
You don't remember
motorcycle
that?
show.
Remember the
Mm-mm.
weird,
Was
the
this
weird looking
very
guy
late?
who was attracted to the transvestite, and they were coming after him, and they caught his daughter, and they threw her in a pit, and they set her on fire. He's going, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
so they threw in a hole and doused her with gasoline and set her on fire.
Yeah,
Did the
Yeah,
good guys do this?
I do remember that. Bad
Yeah.
guys did that. Two of the
That
good
seems
guys.
like a really bad guy thing to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like that was a messed up way to go.
That sounds really judgy,
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burning alive would be terrible, but also like you are taking such a gamble with the crocodiles because
no, you're not.
you're
No, you're
thrown
not.
in the crocodile pit, and so where you get bitten is going to be decided by the crocodile, and they're gonna do what they do with antelopes. They're gonna
No.
latch onto your arm,
No.
and they're going to tear your arm off.
No,
Just a thought.
And you're
I
still
think
alive.
if you throw me in
No.
a crocodile pit,
that's not what
I've got a
happened.
5% chance of getting out.
That's
You're
what I
There's
goddamn
thought.
people,
right.
there's people on the
It's
on the
better
outside
than that.
too.
They kick you
Because
back
here's
in.
what I do. I let them know. Look, I'm hoping that these guys don't have cable. I go into a Steve Irwin impression. I let them know that I'm the crocodile hunter. And I do the whole bit. I steal his whole shtick. And I tell them, send me in there. And I mix it with Crocodile Dundee because they ain't seen that shit either. I tell them that I can make a croc hypnotized. take him under my control. You send me in there. When I come out, I'll have 8 battle crocs under my control, and I'll work for you, mate.
See, now he does Australian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we can do it.
My life's on the line. Of course I can.
I think every one of his Australian
That's a
accents
hyena.
might just be Mr. In Between.
It's just
It works for me.
all the
Wherever
African
you
people are
wanna
just
be.
going to be like, why is he talking different now than when he was begging for his life 3 minutes ago?
Where
That
did his
was
accent?
wild.
Well, it's because I'm having a stroke from high blood pressure, from stress, from about to
If
be
you remember
thrown into the
earlier,
crook.
you hit me in the head right here with that 9 iron, and I think it calls a hematoma. You don't know that word. It's a blood bleed right here in my brain, and it's pressing on the silly part. So I think this is all a joke.
I don't think that just the impression is going to be enough. I think that like you actually have to
no,
know.
I beg them to.
I think you have to know like something about crocodiles, or like, at least
I do though. So
What do
what
you
I'm
mean?
asking is, they give me the chance, a fighting chance. I don't want them to like tie my hands behind my back. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Tie my hands behind my back and like shove me from like 20 feet up into a pool of crocs because it's death instantly. I want to say, send me in to do battle with them. Like, let me put on a show for you guys. Do you want to see a guy get eaten by crocodiles, or do you want to see a man fight crocodiles? I feel like I could talk him
That's
into
fair.
like giving me a chance to fight. The
Give me a
burn
kitchen
pit.
knife and I'll go
What are
in.
you gonna say?
Yes.
Like, could you douse me with that kerosene over there? No. Oh, you're gonna put water on me first. I see. You're gonna douse me in water before you throw me in the fire. Oh God, why? Why is that fire
You're just
retardant
gonna-
gel? Are you putting
You're
it
just gonna-
everywhere but my dick?
you're just gonna die looking like an
Oh,
idiot.
how did you get so much movie grade fire retardant gel? Oh, it feels good, but I know what's coming next.
Yeah. Me, if you put it on my dick neck.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you could be fighting the crocodiles over here with a pool cue.
Oh,
you get fucked up so bad by crocodiles. Like
I
there's
know, but I'm telling you, the alternative's so much worse, Taylor. There's not a third brother because you haven't stepped in and made a funny one yet.
well, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of how we'd actually survive this. I
You
think
got to
that
do
would
battle
be
with the
good.
crocodiles and fight for your life. I always see that in movies. That's what I always see. They're gonna like throw the hero in a volcano, and he's like, dude, why would you want to see a man thrown in a volcano? You know what's gonna happen? Nothing. I'm gone. How about you send me out in the jungle? Give me a 5-minute head start. Fuck, I'm naked. I'm bleeding. You guys are badasses. You come get me. Beat me to death. I'll
There
give a
you
little tussle. What do you get? A bloody lip? Yeah, spear me down like a man. Tell a story. You scout me. Whatever. You could totally talk your way out of getting thrown into a volcano by that. If I'm a warrior and we're about to throw you in the volcano and you come up with that spiel, you could, if you call me a pussy, if you're like, God, you guys are pussies. There's 3 of you. You got
You don't want to
spears.
take me on?
Let's-
Come on.
What? You afraid to tussle with a muscle? Is that what this is about?
No, you know what?
I bet you've never seen a white man before, have you? Yeah. You're scared. You're scared, aren't you?
No, Kyle, my
This
method is
embarrassing.
even
Good
is
thing
even
you're throwing
more.
me in there because I'd tell this story.
This is even more dangerous than the crocodile pit. You can burn alive, you can do the crocodile pit, or
Okay.
you can 5 minutes in the chimp closet.
And I will never go in the chip closet.
Oh,
I
geez.
would-
You wouldn't go in the chimp
I would-
closet.
I would. You wouldn't get me in there. I'd make you kill me before you got me in that chimp closet if I knew it existed. If you were like, all right, let's get him to the chimp closet, I'd be. We're gonna have to fight. You'll have to make me unconscious right here. Wake me up later and throw me in that chimp closet.
Yeah.
We're fighting right now as much as I can.
Oh yeah, the chimp closet would be a terrible way to go.
Yeah.
You'd like
the
still
chimp
be
closet.
you'd be alive to experience having all of your fingers ripped off. You'd like
Yeah.
you die with
Nose
you die
and
without
ears.
genitals. You've like watched him eat your balls and your dick.
Yep.
It's a
And
dark
he's
closet.
doing it. It's a dark closet.
They got him in there with like rock music and a fucking what are those lights that flash over and over?
That's
Strobe.
strobe light.
Like a strobe light. So he is pissed.
He's on an enormous amount of MDMA. the chimp is.
I drop in there and start vibing with him. Maybe.
What's MDMA? I thought that made
And
you
then he
cuddly.
just tear my lips off.
Ecstasy. I don't think it would make
Yeah.
a chimp cuddly. I think it would.
I bet it would.
I choose to
I bet it would
believe
I'd
get
rather get
riled
raped
up.
by a chimp.
that they're all
than,
there
like,
in a big
murdered by
cuddle
one.
puddle. You
Okay,
just join
it's a coke chimp, and,
in.
and he's
No,
he's-
and
a
you want
PCP
to
chimp.
use amphetamines.
He just
like a
relapsed.
heavy dose of amphetamines would be a terrifying thing, and it would work. like it would make a chimpanzee the scariest thing you could imagine.
Plot
A
twist:
fully
all the
enraged-
chimpanzees just catch up
because-
on their homework and organize their Spotify playlists
Yeah.
on the Adderall.
Yeah, they're talking to each other like, I can tear off twice as many fingers in the same amount of time.
You inject him with adrenaline and amphetamines. That would be, and then put armor on him, and
Jesus.
and then you parachute them into an enemy encampment.
There you go.
Ooh, I don't even think you need armor on a chimp. Like they are already.
But
so
doesn't the
tough.
armor make it a little scary? Or not armor, but fitted onto their hands because
Gauntlets? Yes.
Are you
And
talking
not
like
gauntlets, not gauntlets. Like remember the blades come from their forearms and go high enough over in like an arc, like that thing Shredder had.
Shredder
so
blade?
they can still use their hands. They're going to be reaching for whatever, but unbeknownst to them, because they're stupid animals,
Yeah.
they'll be cutting and stabbing and clawing with the attached sabers that start at their forearm and sort of go forward like Shredder claws. That I would like an army of those.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
I hope the
nightmare.
Walking Dead scenario happens because I'm going to make that happen. The Atlanta Zoo's right down the way. I bet they got chimps in there. We could armor them up, no problem.
Dude, that's
and
a bullshit zoo if they don't have chimps.
Yeah, I don't go because it's sad. I genuinely won't go to a zoo because I don't want to give them money to like house prisoner animals. I don't know. Like if they had a rehab program where they put them out in some fake wilderness where they could pretend like they're in the wild, that'd
Come
be
on,
one
it's
thing.
fun seeing the
But I don't
animals.
want to see some polar bear on some white concrete. That's pitiful.
That
Yeah.
is pitiful. The St. Louis Zoo has a polar bear, and it's the saddest thing in the world to
Yeah.
see it. Like, it's so hot. It's so
Yeah,
hot.
yeah.
You can look at it. I didn't know polar bears could like make facial expressions, but
Mm.
it's like looking at you like I don't belong here. It's humid. I should be on an ice cap hunting
Yeah.
walrus or
They need
seals.
wide
Seals and walrus and
Yeah.
like baby whales and shit. Yeah,
There is
I mean,
a level
I-
of with an animal that I don't care if they're like the reptile house. No reptile who's kept captive is upset by it at all. They
No,
don't
they
care.
gotta-
They don't,
they're like, this is so much better than out there.
yeah, they love it. They don't.
Yeah.
They're
Wait,
just
your
like
sun just works? Oh, so I can have sun anytime I want it? I just go out there and get it? You've got 24-hour sun. God, I
Yeah.
love my human overlords.
the birds.
Like they got
definitely like the birds is shittier because it's
the
like
birds is
you're
bullshit 'cause they
stealing
fucking fly.
like the whole thing of like flying is such a big part of being a bird. I imagine.
Pull it up.
Yes, we have a patron who.
Oh, yeah.
Check out the Patreon if you'd like to submit a question. We sift through and find the good ones, and this one is a follow-up to one from a few months ago that we got. And Kyle, you can go ahead and read it. I think he backs it up even.
Yeah,
Gives a little refresher.
It's the insane life help question, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Hey, I am the guy who answered months ago and blew a ton of money from stocks. I have continued to blow my stocks, but to be honest, Kyle never messaged me back, so I've just been blowing more money. I've been in Europe for 3 months now. I believe this is his inheritance, something like that, a limited quantity that started to be as a rather large amount, but is quickly dwindling. For 3 months now, he's getting his Italian citizenship, apparently. And his question is, what does he do now? He has 110,000 left. I have spent hundreds of thousands on good times, but Woody or Kyle, how do I turn what I have left into something meaningful? I feel so lost. No family or friends, only escorts in which I know will never love me. I put 15,000 on the Reds money line last week. I think he means the Cincinnati Reds baseball team.
Yeah.
And came up big enough to last another year, sustaining his lifestyle. I know it won't last forever, though. I have always looked up to you guys as older brothers or parental figures, and I know the fans have done the same. At this
You
point,
gotta
after
ride the
blowing
Reds. Yeah.
Ride the Reds, baby. Let's go. Big Red Army. At this point, after blowing hundreds of thousands of dollars that my grandmother gave me, I should say, what do I do? I have just over 110,000 left in my stocks, and I feel at a loss. I am not sure if any of you have heard the term passport bro, but it means to travel for sex. I feel as if I am relegated to that. I know eventually my funds will run out. but there's nothing in my life that will even come close to the satisfaction I feel when I'm doing hookers and blow.
My favorite part of the question. There's nothing that comes close to the satisfaction in my life I feel when I'm doing hookers and blow. All right.
It is incredibly sad to say, but Woody is the closest thing I have to a father, and Kyle is the closest thing I have to a brother. I need help, and it's incredibly sad to realize the closest thing. Well, come on, don't tear us down after you built us up. I'm not reading the back part. Oh, it's sad I have to reach out to Kyle to help me, but what else could I do? Oh, it was either him or just blew my brains out here in Italy. I don't even know if I want to answer your question now. Maybe I'll give you bad advice. Maybe anyway.
Yeah, it was going to be good.
I think that you're still so. Granted, you sent this question in 30 days ago, so maybe you've gone through all of it by now on hookers and blow, which sounds fantastic, dude. I'm going to be honest.
Have the Reds been on a streak? We might be able to predict this.
Yeah, look into that. See how the Reds are doing. You should have bet on the Bravos though, because that's going to win the series this year. But I would say that as long as you still have, no matter how much money you've got, that's more than most people start with, which again, it's free money that came from nowhere, and there's no reason to think about what you've lost because it's gone. You need to think about what you have, because there's a lot of people that are young like you. He's really young, I think, who have nothing to bounce off of. And that money, I think I told you this last time. I don't know why you're saying I didn't answer your fucking question. That's your cushion that you sit on while you go to school, or you get a trade, or you open your business, or you figure your life out. Hookers and blow need to stop, obviously, but you sound like a hookers and blow man. So look, maybe do what Mark Twain said and make your vacation your vocation. Okay? You like hookers and blow? Find a way to earn a living through hookers and blow. I'm not advising you do anything illegal. I'm just saying, for example, hookers and blow, not literally hookers and blow, because I know you didn't literally mean hookers and blow. You meant like peanut butter jelly sandwiches and pay-per-view UFC events. They just get it.
Exactly. And
that's my advice to you. Blow. You know, like I'm not going to tell you to stop doing hookers and blow. You've spent $500,000 on hookers and blow. You fucking love it. All right. So become a
You
pimp.
need to be a drug dealing pimp.
A drug dealing pimp would be
he loves
the
it?
fucking would be fucking clutch as shit, bro. If you were a drug dealing pimp, and let me tell you this, those two things, it's not like becoming like a fucking sand salesman who's also a fisherman. Those two things fucking synergize, bro. A drug dealing pimp, the whores love drugs. And what better way to control them than the chemical dependence? Listen, my man, this book writes itself. You don't need me here. Andrew Tate wrote the book on this shit. Get to work. You're already in Europe.
Step one, move to Romania.
You know why European women are so fucking hot, by and large? Like the average European woman, in my opinion, is more attractive.
Skinnier.
It's not the Viking rape. That accounts for their strong genetics and their red hair. Well. The reason they're so attractive is because when they went around burning all those witches up, they burnt all the ugly hags. They went around, crooked nose, fucking wart on her cheek, fucking lazy eye, fucking patchy ass hair. That bitch is like 30 pounds too heavy. Round her up too.
Look at her. She's casting spells. She has like cerebral palsy.
She gave me the eye. Just round her up.
Look at her with her witchy, twitchy hand.
Exactly. If somebody had a fucking like hand deformity, you think they were casting a spell on you. Round them up. They rounded all of those ugly bitches up, and they, disposed of them. Unfortunately,
sent them to Australia.
Unfortunately. No, they burned them. They hung them.
They sent them to Boston.
They sent them all to Boston, Massachusetts, home of the ugliest bitches this side of the Mississippi.
I would have gone the other direction. I would have thought that jealous people in those days would have been like, fucking Susie with her giant tits and ass. I'm going to accuse her of being a witch. Fuck her. And they thought there'd be some like vindictive witchery.
Men rule the world.
I'll be honest, Taylor, that's a bit of made up history, and I've used that both ways in the past.
Never let facts keep you from making your point.
I've used that to talk about why women are so ugly in a region of Europe before. I mean, like, you know what would happen? All the gals would get together. They see Becky fucking firm titties over there, and they'd be, Becky fucking said that she wished the crop would fail, and looky loo, there it fails. And she said she wished Tommy would trip, and he fell and broke his leg.
My
But
lord,
they-
her tits move in defiance of God's law of gravity.
They fucking lie on her and they have her
We
fucking
must
trounced
end-
up. Yeah, they bring her up on charges. She'd be gone. So I
Dude.
can use that. You can use that either way.
I want to
say
answer
both.
the question.
Yeah, we should answer this guy's question.
There was a question.
Yeah, for the guy that wrote this or anyone who's in a vaguely comparable situation, if you know the road you're on leads to the wrong place, fucking turn. What kind of jackass is like, I can see myself headed to the pits of hell, but momentum. Nah, fucking turn, dick fuck. What?
Yeah.
You're over the top stupid on this. You've spent life-changing money on hookers and blow, and you're still going? Turn now. You still have $100,000 left. It's gonna grease the skids for the rest of your life if you use it smartly.
He's 100% right. That's what I'm talking about. That little, it's grease. That's that's a good way to think of it. And life gets fucking rocky sometimes, and it gets rusty sometimes. And money is such good grease to like, oh really? That was gonna ruin everything. $2,500. Poof, fixed it. Oh, life's over. 10,000. Poof, fixed it. All the time that kind of shit happens. And if you've got fucking 6 figures liquid over there, man, that's a lot of mana in your fucking back pocket to poof fix shit. Look, you can't fix a relationship. You can't make a woman not be a dumb piece of shit. And you can't make a friend not be a selfish jerk or whatever your problems might be in your real life. But money will fix that other shit. Sick dog, poof, not anymore. Your lawn look like shit. Nah, now it's pimping. Can't get any pussy. Car, house, working out. Fucking wardrobe.
Working out.
Wait. I don't think he needs instructions on how to convert cash into pussy. This is his subject
Sounds
matter.
like that's actually a huge problem.
It's like fucking laundering money back into pussy. Like right now, you're doing it the illegal way. You're going straight for the pussy with the dollars. You got to filter that money back through wardrobe and fucking a household and a car and a night and a
I'm
good
not
look.
convinced your
And
way
then
is
you
going to
still
make
get
the money
pussy.
last longer, Kyle. I think you'll go.
But then you have a house and a car and all the other things,
My dumb ass is like, oh, he spends the money on himself.
Oh my god, not all those appreciating assets. Kyle. No. Like that would be my thing. Like you can get a lot of pussy if you've got like other things than just paying straight up for it. Although, look, I've never liked prostitutes. I think I've just had the one or two or whatever I've told on here. I don't have any secret ones. And it's like, what an icky process. And like, if you don't have a good sense of humor and be jokey about it with her, it could be real dark. I'm glad mine didn't seem like a sad prostitute. She was like a happy, I'm getting paid kind of prostitute. I don't know why I made her sassy because she was blonde, but it, but it didn't feel, it was just like, this wasn't like a good time. You're only here because I paid you the money and all, and I like to hang out after sex. I always tell Woody, we've talked about the thing where these guys will just like get laid and like never talk to a girl again. And I'm like, why did you do that? Did you fuck a girl that was so atrocious that you don't want to be like near her anymore? Because I'd like to make a relationship with her of some kind, or at least we're in contact and like, hey, you want to hang out? Okay, cool.
Brilliant. I don't know why everyone doesn't follow that Kyle rule. Like,
I think they're fucking awful women.
Well, okay, all right. In that regard, it makes a certain sense. But I think there are people who are turning down slutty women when they could be repeat customers.
Mm-hmm.
I think with this guy, his like, when you read that he was like, I don't think anything is as much fun as I'm having now with cocaine and prostitutes. Like,
yeah. It's more than
the dude already knows the answer in his head. Like the people who are happy and are not doing a bunch of cocaine and fucking prostitutes. Like you already know, in your head and like your soul and heart, whatever you want to say, like, you're not happy on this path. No. Like you already know that. You need to cut it out. You need unironically get really into Jesus rather than
that'll cost all that money
than hookers and blow.
No. Don't you give a dime of that money to Jesus?
Yeah, they're gonna fucking ask you.
No, I didn't say feed it to the church. I said
money.
Get it. Anything.
That's what churches do. They're cults that just fucking get the cash
money.
out of you.
Why would
God give this guy a wee bit of money?
You guys are too Reddit brained. If you hear I'm addicted to cocaine and prostitutes, and you go just do something else, maybe go to church or something, and you're like, no, Like
That's what
Actually,
my
it's
advice
not
was,
Reddit brain.
Taylor.
It's the time we tried to join the church, and they were like, "Hey, we like to do our deposits by you giving us your fucking
My
routing
advice
number and
fucking
bank
works.
password,
Don't
and
go
we
there.
withdraw them automatically, and as we see
That's
fit."
absurd.
That was
Don't give
Catholic
their
Church.
bank. Yeah, don't give your bank account info to church people. Don't do that. But like literally
tell you-
anything would be getting super into working out, getting super into some hobby, paramotoring, skydiving.
yeah,
you have
you're
enough
on
to
the-
get
you're
into
on the right
something
path.
fun.
I've
You already
talked about
know
this
that you're
before.
miserable
Like-
and depressed going down this path of artificial happiness that clearly isn't working if you've dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into it. And if you every day you do it more, you're going to regret it more, and you're going to drive. Oh, I got another fucking prostitute for $2,000. How am I going to make myself feel better about doing this again? Another prostitute tomorrow night
Hey,
with cocaine.
do you record like do you make pornos with these prostitutes? Because that would make so much more sense if you were let's say you're hooking up with like the creme de la creme of European prostitutes. Man, if you had an OnlyFans where they
No,
of
he's
course
not. No.
agreed-
You know what?
where
This
they
guy's out
agreed
of
to
shape.
like be filmed and everything, and you could have like yeah, this week like that could be part of your OnlyFans. I don't know if anybody does that, but like what if there was a dude who was like, this week you guys get to pick who I bang. Here's the whole like fucking whore list of in Uzbekistan. Here's like 500 women. Y'all pick one for me to bang. All right. Donate if the donations hit this amount, you guys get to pick what I do to her. Like, is there an OnlyFans like that?
So Kyle wants you to parlay prostitution into sex.
Dude, I've been trying so hard to make his vocation his vacation. Like get him fucking synergized.
It's genius,
baby.
really. Yeah.
Oh,
Honestly-
it's wonderful.
Like, you know how Only Use Me Blade is
sell
like,
cocaine.
hey, the first shot I'll do for $5, the second shot I do for 10, the third
There
shot
you
I do
go.
for 20, etc. You
Hell
need to do that with cum shots.
You're gonna need a supplement
There
to
you
help
go.
you with all
There's
that.
the plan.
fucking,
Maybe
I'll tell you
maybe
that. And
church
you know
was the
what?
wrong path.
We will buy ad space. Here's the thing: you get your OnlyFans going. We will promote it. We want to see 3 videos that are already uploaded. We will promote it. We will give you product. We will then be able.
Hold
to
on, we don't
display
know what this
which
guy
shot-
looks like.
We will
Yeah,
then
that's
be
what
able
I'm
to display.
saying. This guy does not look good.
Pending visual ocular pat down.
Sight
of course.
unseen. You want to
And-
promote his
and
porn? We need to.
Not
We need
sight
to know.
unseen. It's a hypothetical, clearly pending FBS Productions, 2023. But what we just screw y'all out of it. but you know, like then you could take our product, you could up your game, and the fans would be able to see how much of a difference that it made, and you know, you could pay us for those services with some of the much money that you have, the many monies, and it could be a wonderful thing for both of us. You could have your dad and your brother watch you know, blow loads on Romanian whores, you know, and we your dad and your brother could come together to give you that help you need to get your jism to the turgid mass of disgustingness that we like to see out of our boy when he's blasting Romanian whores. You know,
100%.
like we want to welcome you into the family. Is what I'm saying.
This guy, he should do hookers.
We
and
want
blow
you to be
during the
cool
hangout.
guy of the year.
Cool guy of the year.
That's
I mean,
I'll make a
Yeah,
trophy.
I want to get
goddammit.
Wolf. What's your advice for this gentleman?
Mine.
I'm kind of scared because Jesus, after those, so here, what I would recommend is there's a very large percent that this guy is probably not that attractive, and I don't think he's going to want to see himself on camera. I think he needs to go to
Mask it up. It's all good.
he needs to go to a third world nation of some kind, South America, or somewhere where his dollar can be he could live like a king. He needs to use that 100K, buy a small hotel or something that he can get some gains from, and like a regular influx of money before it all runs out and he's rock bottom. And he needs to go dry, like drop the drugs, he needs to go someplace where it's going to be really hard to get. South America might not be the best idea, but he needs to go somewhere. He needs to go somewhere where he can get dry.
in pesos or cocaina.
I keep picking the Coke.
That could work too.
I have
but
never
he
not
needs
chosen Coke, to be honest.
to invest that money.
And I'm
so he can
hungry.
start building back, or he can get a regular return from it so that he can live off of something, because he's going to go broke real fast if he hasn't gone already. He needs to buy some real estate, hotel with like 4 or 5 rooms that he can make a little money from, and chill out and
that.
sweat out the drugs and either end up in, I mean, you could also go your route and, move to Thailand where his money's going to stretch more and get his own roster of female employees.
Ladies.
If that's what he wants.
Air quotes for the ladies part. We're in Thailand, baby. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. That's, he could buy some lady boys and ladies and
get you a fucking
turn that money
posse of
over.
fensters.
There you go.
Cat boys everywhere, baby. Let's go.
But again,
dude, that's what he is, the cat boy king of Thailand.
Yeah.
He's walking around with
do
harem.
the whole Tiger King persona, but you got a bunch of cat boys, bunch of Asian cat boys like following you around. You got the hat on. This is gonna save you financially.
But yeah, I think he just needs to clean up and try and turn it around.
Yeah,
because he's not gonna last. Not gonna last, bro.
Yeah, no.
And I mean, if he's
bro,
it's not
out of his
mind,
it's used this as a springboard. Think of it as springboard and cushion money, right? It's the money that gives you that little pep in your step that nobody else has. The other people can't put in as many hours as you can, because you have money to take care of the things that they spend their time on. Like you know what I mean? Like if you don't have time to make dinner, you can order it, right? Like that's what that money's for, frankly.
Yeah.
So that not so that you can just eat in, so that you can keep working and not stop to make food. You know what I mean? Like you can outwork your competition because you've got $110,000 in your bank account.
That is a lot of money to have liquid. Like just
depends where you are.
That's it was.
It was. Yeah,
does it go further or not as far in Italy, would you imagine?
Oh, Italy's notoriously cheap.
Unless you go
it's incredibly expensive.
I mean, I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. Cocaine here
Europe's
seems
more
like
expensive.
cocaine seems cheap here. From we've talked about it before. We don't really know, but it's not like crazy expensive. Like, what's it cost in Italy? Is he spending like $10,000 a week on cocaine in Italy? Like that's. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, bro, I think we gave you lots of good advice there. You take your pick, mix and match. Frankly, get yourself some whores and go to South America. Get clean and get a hotel. But if you get a hotel, you definitely got to get them whores in there. Like, so some of these ideas synergize together better than others. I think a hotel with whores and cocaine in South America, and fucking ding, ding, ding. All of a sudden, you're rolling like 8 D28s at a time. You're taking the highest roll every turn. Nothing but crit hits. That's how you synergize. So good luck to you. And look, if anyone would like to ask us a question, this is the perfect time to click the Patreon down below. The month's rolled over. Here we are at the eve of a new month. Did you guys see the moon last night? I texted you like a teenage girl. Hey boys, go out and look at the moon.
I didn't see your text till this morning,
and nobody fucking replied. I'm out there looking at it. I was so ready to be like, I'm looking at the same moon as you, little bird. I've been rewatching Walking Dead, and it's so fucking upsetting that there's still. It's like I'm in season 5 or 6 or so. Yeah. And the main way they kill zombies. Keeping in mind, if the zombie bites you, you die. If they bite you on the hand, we got to cut your hand off really quick. Your arm, your whole arm. And that's like it, because you can't really live without your fucking leg in this post-apocalyptic war. You're just a nuisance then. So anywhere, it's just a death sentence to be bitten. But they're still stabbing them in the head with pocket knives. That's what everybody does. And so anytime an overwhelming amount of them come, basically more than we can, if they show up in like quicker than we can stab them, then we're overwhelmed and we got to run away or go to guns. But guns are ridiculous because they're just stumbling people who can bite. And it's like, why did they never make some bite-proof armor? Because a good motorcycle outfit is fully bite-proof. Like from the gloves to the helmet to the boots to the every bit. If you're dressed to slide down asphalt, you're bite-proof.
Yeah. Like you need that Russian bear armor.
And I know that'd be hot, but it's better than being eaten alive, which is the alternative. And then it's like, man, a spear would hit the spot, wouldn't it? Like, holy shit! What if we had a shield with a groove in it, and the spear sat in there, and Spartan I could just headshot. What if I put a laser on the spear because it is 2005? Headshot. Like, why are
even
we
a
stabbing them, boys?
With one of those like guiding things?
Anything? Yeah, just dude. That's what. Honestly, that'd be fucking killer.
You know what I'd actually want? Like instead of a spear, would be like a trident. something that
Why?
But
so
that
that
could
way
be
there's
tight
like
in their head, though.
it's wider. You could hit multiple at the same time if they're kind of like a
But it could get
pitchfork
stuck
would be
more
good.
easily. It has barbs on the
Yeah,
end.
you don't want it to get stuck in the head,
A
though.
pitchfork then.
You imagine
little-
more of a pitchfork point on the end.
Yeah, pitchfork would be good. And that way, like if it has inertia and it's coming towards you or
I
something,
wasn't
'cause
kidding
some of
about the
those
laser
zombies do,
sight.
it's gonna stop it on the rounded part. It's not gonna like fall through your whole spear, and you're like, oh fuck, now I got half my spear sticking through the zombie head, and I can't break it because the skull's not rotted enough. Just like a little pop 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 pop.
You want me to tell you
Yeah,
something that'll
it's better.
screw your head up? Because I'm a huge zombie fan. I watch everything zombie related. But one thing that it's really nerdy of me, but I think is valid point. One thing that they don't use in the apocalypse movies that would really happen in real life is mode of transportation. And you always see horses, and you always see, Daryl Dixon and his cool Harley looking bike and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, everybody would be using bicycles. Why don't you ever
probably
see
would be
people using
smarter.
bicycles in zombie movies? Think about it.
Probably because like the people on the show are like, no, that's not cool enough. 'Cause,
Exactly.
Yeah, it would.
Exactly. You don't want to see Daryl
see-
Dixon riding around on a Schwinn bike with,
I don't think I
Different
would.
stuff.
I think I'd want to be on foot.
no.
Woody,
you
we're
would-
talking about
walking
like
the cities and stuff.
Yeah, having a bike
Yeah.
would be helpful.
No,
No,
I'd
I'd
do like
be-
mountain biking.
we're talking
there.
about post-apocalypse, I suppose, sort of
Okay.
Walking Dead zombie style thing, and getting
Mhm.
around. I mean, I think I'd want a motorcycle with some storage on it.
Well, stand
but-
by. It's important. Are there zombies though? 'Cause
Yeah,
motorcycles.
Yeah, we're talking about a
motorcycles
zombie
zombie. I like cars, man, and I'm a bike guy.
But gas doesn't last that long.
Oh,
Does it last longer? in
Well,
a
is it
motorcycle?
walking? All right, I was.
No, he
I
means
was-
like a physical like pedaling bike like that.
Yeah, I'm talking like a bicycle.
Wolf does. I
No.
don't think that's what Kyle said.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I was using the Walking Dead fake scenario where gasoline lasts forever, and we always find enough for Daryl Dixon's motorcycle and our Hyundai
Exactly.
Sonata.
Ultimate car of the
Look how clean
post-apocalypse. Do you
that
think they
Hyundai
still get?
Sonata
Yeah.
is.
You're like, oh, we're for
2008
4
Hyundai Sonata, and the apocalypse started in 2005. What's going on, Rick? What's going on?
God, the apocalypse was so much more boring after we lost our XM free subscription. 12 months into it.
Like, remember what, Rick? We don't have much water, but make sure that Sonata's polished up, nice and shiny. We got to pay the bills. And that show is already the biggest show on TV. Those fucking
Yeah, like
cocksuckers.
I'm telling you, Keegan and his
They need
crew.
that
Was
money.
it Keegan, the guy with the bat?
Negan.
Megan, yeah, Megan
Negan
and all
with
the
an
bad
N.
guys. They'd be all on BMXs riding around, like 20 of them.
All right, so if we're in a world where, and I think it is the case. Like, I think if you want a car, gasoline goes dead, and so I don't know where you get more. I don't know if there's a way to store gasoline where
You
it doesn't
can't,
go
no.
dead. And the same's true for diesel. What would work is any kind of vehicle that was rigged up to run on propane. A lot of city buses here in Atlanta run on propane.
Mm.
And you can get propane anywhere in vast quantities, and it's easy to get it from. There's facilities, is what I'm saying, Woody, and they're easy to find because it's like, look at that gigantic white bubble of propane over there. So you could and it'd be easy to get it from the big tank to a medium tank to a small tank if you needed to, and you figure it
I
out.
worry that it's dangerous. Like,
Which part?
I don't know.
Propane?
I'm thinking in a Mad Max scenario where like the warlords control the fuel supply. It might go down like that.
I mean, there's just propane everywhere in the South. Like those tanks in people's backyards, and there's propane grills everywhere. I don't know how.
Propane accessories.
If you think about it. At my house right now, there's 3 of those fucking things of propane.
Yeah.
And I've seen those trucks that run on that. Like, you just fucking screw right in. Like,
Yeah,
that
but-
would be ideal.
I kind of like the
You
notion
get
that
propane out
Kyle's
of the
in his school bus.
once those-
Well, not the school bus, but
The
they
city
make
bus. I said it
normal
wrong.
size
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
vehicles.
yeah.
They make trucks, like a car, a motor vehicle of normal size and capacity that runs on propane.
But
I
a
think
man
what
of
you
your
should-
stature should have a bus.
Pump that out though.
A bus.
You should be a cult leader.
There should
I
also
would
be.
love to be a cult leader. It's hard to get up.
You think
Look,
you've
it's
got what
hard
it
to make a
takes?
charisma stat to get that. You can't get that charisma roll because the enemies have too much of a modifier on them. It's too easy because it's not the movies for people just to blow you away and take all your shit, because that's always option B. So you
Yep.
got to somehow initiate dialogue without them immediately going to option B. and then convince someone who apparently has an advantage over you, because it's going to never happen like in the movies where two people point guns at each other and then start talking. That shit's never happened ever. I can't imagine.
No.
Somebody turns around, there's guns pointed at them, and they're moving to point guns.
Yeah.
Everyone dies now, or more likely, everyone who has, those people with less guns die.
The people opt to talk die.
Yeah. You don't want to be talking to anybody,
Yeah.
So the idea of getting a cult together, like you might get I don't know. It'd be so hard to trust anybody or about any fucking thing because you're all in the same scenario where you know what it's like. You'd lie. Lie if you
played enough DayZ to know that I won't last.
Bro.
I will trust someone, and it won't work out well.
Yeah, I'll think I've made a friend, and then I'll be in a stew pot.
Exactly. Before long, I'm on my knees, and he's asking me to squeal, or he's going to take all my things. And
I'm like, no, you don't want to eat me. I'm disgusting. Like,
I think there could be a scenario where one man met another solo man, and we could come to an agreement. And I could believe in that. Like, look, it's hard
like
without somebody watching.
Oh, that's very Last of Us of you. Very.
It'd be like, man, it's hard to watch your back, when you're out here on your own. Look, I don't have a whole lot of shit. You don't have a whole lot of shit. I don't want to fight you. Do you want to fight me? And he's like, not really. Like especially if one of us, if the big guy's hurt or something, and like maybe we can talk this out and work together. I'll look after you, and that's ideal. But I can't imagine me and my boys coming upon like Taylor with a skint knee and a big fat backpack full of we don't know what, and he's got his he doesn't have anything in his hands. Man, it's gonna be hard to even start talking. I will talk, but it's to find out anybody else around here before we get started.
This scenario out in my head where I find a thickly muscled survivalist with a gunshot in his deltoid, and I nurse him back to health, thinking that we're going to be a partnership when this is done. Meanwhile, I'm like that girl that dated the guy all through med school, and when he finally starts earning, he trades me in for somebody better.
God damn.
Yeah,
you're the Miata that he got rid of for the Beamer.
Yeah.
You need to have a skill set that makes you essential, which is something I rapidly find out.
That's why I don't.
Taylor's like, accents were worth so much more pre-apocalypse.
Yeah. Damn. Now they're just upset. And they're like, you're not helping. And it's like, why are you even saying this to me? I am helping so much. And they're like, stop pretending to be an Indian guy and carry the water jugs. God, this guy's been an absolute nightmare from sun up to sundown every day.
I would just really appreciate someone just to watch my back while I slept, or someone that had another skill set that I just didn't have at all. And I know some stuff. I know where a lot of guns are stored. I know where the guns that you see in Walking Dead are stored right now. I know where that company is and where it's located here in Atlanta.
I'd have to lie like that fat guy who is I don't remember what his fucking name is from Walking Dead, but he's like, I worked for the virology department of the United States
Eugene.
I'm entirely certain that is not within our operational capacity.
That's pretty good, actually.
Shit like that. And I would get 3 sentences in and they'd be like, how do electrical outlets work? And I'd be like, that is not relevant to the discussion at hand. And they'd be like,
but Eugene knew that. See, Eugene knew things like that. He was a very jack of all trades kind of guy. There was a time where they make a water filter really quickly out of a water bottle, and sand and dirt and pebbles, and you start with small things, go to big, to make this makeshift water filter just to get the particulates out before you boil it. And she's like, yeah, Eugene taught me this. Eugene was the guy who knew when they need to repair the solar thing, what parts to look for. And he was the bullet maker.
Reload bullets too.
Yeah,
that was a big part.
I'm an amateur.
I know how to do all those things. That not Eugene knew some advanced stuff, that metallurgy stuff, but I just know where to get stuff. I know where some stuff's held.
What's the most prepper stuff you have, Wolf?
I have food stores. You shouldn't be talking about this because prepper.
That's all right. No one watches.
Rules are not to tell everyone.
I ain't got shit.
Exactly.
Hypothetically,
now I'm getting stuff to review on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. Someone just sent me this ultimate match that never goes out or something like that, this product, and
Okay.
That's cool.
I've got like several 55 gallons of water set up. I've got gas masks, as you just saw.
Mhm.
I've
You know
got
what I have?
counters. I've got a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like,
Clothing that makes me zombie proof.
sorry,
Yeah.
I have clothing that makes
We
me
said
zombie
that right.
proof.
We said
Yeah.
that in your absence. That
Yeah,
that
yeah.
motorcycle
You-
get up is
Yep.
zombie proof.
Yep,
Yeah, you can't fight through that.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it's funny because when COVID came, and people were like running and getting toilet paper and getting masks and stuff. I was the guy in my family, like, the lockdowns happened like March, I think it was, over here. And
Mhm.
I said in January, I sent a text. I think I still have it on my phone. I sent a text because I already have like several boxes of the masks. And I said, you guys need to buy these now for a box of 20. They're $9 at Home Depot. Go pick some up. Right. And they're laughing at me. Oh, Wolf, you're always doing your weird prepper stuff and your weird, saving water and all this stuff. And, I had that prepper wet dream come true where, all the lockdown started and everyone ran out of toilet paper and the mask went from $9 a box to $50 a box. And, it all went down and everything. And I was like, everyone was panicking. I was still home in my house, chilling with a whole bunch of soap and gloves and stuff like that. So I think I have almost everything. I've got generators and a few other things that I can't say, but for a certain amount of time I can hold out. And then for when I can't, I hopefully got enough skills to take it from people who don't. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to use your tactical skills for good when you become the cult leader of Canada.
Right,
When you depose Trudeau and take your spot at the reins. What is that mask you were holding? And is that like a is that like a chemical mask? Like
It's a full-on gas mask. And it's got there's different filters you can use for depending on what you need it for. The filters I have are pretty strong. It goes from anything from tear gas to nuclear fallout. Right. This is just a random one. This is not one of my good ones. I just use this for show when I do reviews and stuff. I actually have a code on my channel for getting these gas masks, but these are pretty good that you can run around your place and they don't fog up and everything when it gets humid outside. And I have a more tactical one where instead of the full face, it's got the two eyes type of thing. And that's a little more tactical per se. So I have these. I have these.
Look cooler.
Pretty much
more intense. Is it like is a filter for nuclear fallout? Is that kind of like a duck and cover thing? Like if you like how are you like, because if it's fucking everywhere, I feel like you're dead anyway, right?
Well, it depends, because when you have fallout, obviously you don't want any ashes on you or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you're gonna go out. You can't just use a mask alone. You're gonna need a full-on suit. You don't need like technically a hazmat suit. You just need like a really strong bodysuit, duct tape, wear on the gloves, all that stuff, and a few other tricks, iodine pills to make sure you don't catch anything. And certain, and then you need a cleaning station for when you get back in your house. So if you get to your house, you need a cleaning station at the front to wash all the stuff out because it's still radioactive. Somewhere to store that stuff or get rid of it, and clean your mask and all that stuff, and then change out the filter and start from scratch again when you have to go out again. So there's a whole process to it, like a boot changing station to make sure you don't track stuff all over the place. And I have certain stuff for me and the kids, and I even keep a bug out bag in my car with a gas mask and other stuff in it in case, like, something hits Toronto, I'm on the highway and my car goes dead from the EMP and I got to walk it home. I can put on certain things that I keep in my car, my gas mask and the suit, and walk home. I even keep a skateboard in the car so I can get home faster. But
the EMP goes off. Like, think of how fast everything goes to shit. No internet, no news, no communication with your family, your friends. Like, everyone is instantly atomized and separated. Like, it would go mad instantly.
And you know what? COVID taught me a lot about human interaction and how quick people would turn on each other. And it's like, remember, supermarkets only carry enough food for 3 days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? Like people keep
Mm.
thinking, you're watching movies and they go to the supermarket. Like, look at how quickly food ran out during COVID. Like really fast. Like it's stuff the shelves are empty instantly. And you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
And it's scary. And it's like, and 90% of people don't know how to take care of themselves, when it comes to stuff like that. And I'm not one of those paranoid guys, but I'm like, I was fine in my house for a good amount of time, not having to go anywhere and not, you know what I mean? Not worried about.
I don't remember COVID like you do at all. Like I remember a shortage on toilet paper, but
He's in
otherwise,
Canada.
I just had food delivered to my house.
If you were lucky, like,
Yeah, if you're-
Everybody was lucky.
MP, how's that gonna happen?
Well, okay,
you can't-
I was
Go ahead,
talking about COVID though. Like I feel like you're like, hey, you know what? My prepper thing really turned out to be, money in the bank when COVID hit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, really? I just used a bidet and had fucking luxuries delivered to my house all the
Wolf,
time.
he just
Maybe
used
pick-
being rich to solve that whole thing. It wasn't an issue if you're rich.
You know what? Like it's a joke, and I get it. It's good, but if being rich solves the problem, it wasn't an apocalypse. It wasn't even a real big problem.
No, it wasn't even close to an apocalypse. I mean, COVID was just like a quiz. It wasn't even a test. You know what I mean? Like it was like the bare minimum of what could happen, and people
it was just a toilet paper shortage. And
no, there was certain foods you couldn't get. There was certain meats you couldn't get. The trucks were running behind and stuff like that. There was certain
I remember
certain medicines you couldn't get.
A shelf that held my dumbbells was slow in shipping. That was probably my biggest COVID sacrifice.
It's devastating.
I was mad.
Meanwhile, people like losing their jobs, getting their homes, having their lives destroyed. It's like, just use DoorDash, dumbass. Like, just
like again, I'd never compare that to like a real apocalypse scenario, but at the same time, like I just watch how people treated each other overall, and it was like people fighting over toilet paper in the lineups, and getting big balls of water, and people fighting about like there's like bottled water shortage at some point in certain places, and it depends if you're rural or by cities. Like it is crazy, right? Like I remember like the blackout in the late 90s, and people living downtown Toronto in 40-foot buildings and had to come down the stairs every day to do stuff, right? So like when you're a prepper or an amateur prepper, you take all that stuff into consideration and try to plan for the worst. And you look like the crazy guy on your block, but at the same time, if I'm running around with plates and training for certain things, it's like I know one of my neighbors are like, oh, if anything happens, I'm coming to you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, like I said, I was when I was first selling these gas masks and stuff, I was like, okay, all the stuff that you have in your house, not going to matter if you can't breathe. You know what I mean? Like there's weird things like that people don't think of. And it's like,
I've always thought that it doesn't matter if you can't defend it, because you have to start with a gun or none of the other, a gun or like a hole to hide in. Like you've got a bunker where you can be self-sufficient, live underground, and you're just down there in some sort of silo or something. And I know people who have systems like that with air filtration, enormous systems, stockpiles of food and energy down there. People who can spend months. It's up in a place. You know what it is. Millionaire crazy people. But it all goes back to a guy. You know what else he has? Stockpiles of ammo. He owns a firearms company, so like all that shit to defend
Owning a firearms company would be very big for the apocalypse. You're probably strapped.